Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I understand that you may feel this amendment is not germane to the Farm Bill, but I plan to offer and withdraw this amendment. But before I do, hope we can have a discussion on this issue. My amendment is simple. It would require that bets on sports to be treated as sports betting. Under existing laws, the CFTC does not allow gambling contracts. However, it is choosing to turn a blind eye and allow companies to get around state and tribal gambling rules by calling bets on sports event contracts or prediction markets. We all know this is BS. A prediction on the volume of wheat produced has value to the agriculture industry.
Okay.
A prediction on whether the 49ers beat the Raiders on Monday Night Football is a bet. Let's be clear. What prediction market companies are doing is a direct violation of tribal sovereignty, shreds the integrity of the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act of 1988, and is stealing revenue from tribes in states like New Mexico. In my state, tribal gaming sustains Native American communities. Revenue from gaming goes directly to jobs, education, housing, infrastructure, and so much more. It's the foundation of how gaming tribes support themselves, and it's a huge boon to surrounding rural communities. When it comes to sports betting in New Mexico, the rules are simple. It only happens at tribal casinos under tribal, federal, and state regulation, with strong safeguards in place to ensure tax revenue supports state and tribal priorities, prevents underage betting, and protects those who struggle with gambling addiction. And in other states around the country, sports betting companies have had to go through the rigorous approval processes themselves. Prediction markets, on the other hand, have opened in all 50 states and openly advertised that their services are available where sports books are not. These markets advertise themselves as being an important tool for understanding world events, but a recent report showed that over 90% of contracts on Colloquy were on sports, with 40% of their volume on the NFL alone. Whether you call it a bet or a prediction, we all know what it is. The tribes in my district have abided by all state and federal regulations to operate their businesses, and it's not right that a new unregulated market can appear overnight with no oversight that the tribal casinos and legal sportsbooks are subject to. Being unregulated is so attractive that even traditional sports betting companies have now switched to a prediction model so that they can avoid regulation in states that they weren't previously allowed to operate. The CFTC originated out of a desire to regulate grain markets, not oversee a billion-dollar sports betting industry. Members on both sides of this room agree. The CFTC should get back to being focused on agricultural commodities, and everyone should have to play by the same rules. Now, I know that there are many of my Republican colleagues with tribes in their district, and in fact, there have been numerous Republican states in which your attorneys general have signed on to amicus briefs against Colloquy, and 41 states in total. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the opportunity to speak on this amendment, and we'll plan to withdraw.
The gentleman withdraws. For what purpose does the gentleman seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, in lieu of an amendment, I would like to engage in a colloquy with you on the appropriate time to discuss my concerns about sports-related event contracts.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know that there are folks on the other side of the dais who also care deeply about the tribes in their districts and how prediction markets impact their revenue stream. And so I ask this question for you tonight. Will you commit to working with me to close this loophole at the CFTC, stand up for tribal sovereignty, and ensure that bets on sports are treated like sports betting? Mr. Chairman, would you commit to helping me lead that process?
Yes, prediction markets are not novel, but they are growing quickly in size and attention, and they present important issues for the committee to examine. Following our successful work on the Farm Bill, it is my intention that the committee turn to CFTC reauthorization and consideration of how event contracts, which is what you're talking about, event contract markets fit into the CFTC's remit will be germane to that work. The discussion around event contracts is an important one, but is also a complex one with many interested stakeholders. and different perspectives. Landscape is also moving quickly. Just this week, Chairman Selig announced work on a rulemaking related to event contracts. So I believe that member education is essential to our success as a committee, especially for an issue as complex as event contracts. And I look forward to providing members the opportunity to hear from a cross-section of stakeholders, as well as the CFTC Chairman Selig, as we work towards a bipartisan reauthorization package, and certainly look forward to working with you, Mr. Vasquez. I appreciate you raising this issue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.